Hey guys, welcome back to the Porsche 911 restoration series. Now in the previous episode, we continued on the fabrication on this car and we actually ran out of welding gas, so we couldn't weld this fully up. I've still got a small panel to make up here. Need to weld it up. There's 4 bottles of welding gas that are empty there, so we need to get some more welding gas. Anyway, in this episode, I'm not going to do this first because we still need to get the welding gas, but I'm going to start cutting off the sills because they need to come off. Reveal the inner sill, see exactly what condition that's in, and then I can also cut the bottom of this rear quarter off to reveal that kidney bowl and then get that cut off because we're replacing that as well. Yeah, man. We certainly have a lot in store for you guys today. Now, not only do we uncover a lot more rust and misery on the Porsche, which also means bracing the car because we've found a lot of structural rust as well. But we also get to use that machine over there, which is a laser cleaner from Zach Lasers. Now, we use it on the inner sill, but you're going to have to wait to the end of the video to see that. It's quite a good sight, and that machine is very, very handy, and it's a beast as well. So, enjoy the video. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe. Enjoy the video. So first things first, we get onto that passenger side sill, we cut it off with a cutting disc, and unfortunately the thing with these sills is they rot from the inside out. So before we go any further, we need to clean it up with a wire wheel just to see how far that rust goes. Now we move on to the driver's side, and as you can see in the trough of the rear arch and that sill, it's not looking too good for the Porsche. So same goes for this sill, cutting it off with a cutting wheel and giving it a light bit of persuasion just to tease it off. So to get access to the kidney bowls, we need to cut the bottom of this rear quarter off, which we're taking both rear quarters off anyway. Now this section here is actually part of the main structure of the car, and as you can see, it's pitted and it's heavily rusted. After carefully extracting this part of the rear quarter, you can see that there's more rust. Now I've taken this kidney bowl out and you can actually see that there's actual rust on the tub of the car, which isn't good because this is like the main structure of the car, so this needs replacing as well. Now I took the kidney bowl off, and just like the other side, you can see the original kidney bowl which has not been removed properly. Also, this is part of this rear quarter, and if you peel that back you can see the original rear quarter inside there. So now that we've got some welding gas, I'm going to weld that front section first. So I'll jump back on that, get that welded, and then I'll jump back here. I'm going to start removing the rest of this rear quarter, which means taking this window out, the door trim, getting all the spot welds taken out, obviously making sure that we don't damage anything on the body of the car or the trough on the actual engine bay, and then we can get everything cleaned up properly. So now, after finally getting some welding gas, we get back onto this front section, we'll get it welded in, ground down, we treat it with some Dinitrol rust converter, and then we get it primed. Now the reason for priming it so early is because we don't want it to flash rust. Now flash rusting is moisture in the air getting onto that bare metal and it starts oxidizing. Now we move on to this rear window. So we've got a trim to take off of the outside of the car, which is basically a spreader for the rubber, and then we can tease that window out. Now we can concentrate on drilling out them spot welds for the rear quarter. Now there's plenty of spot welds around the window, and there's also some down the trough of the engine bay. So we need to make sure we don't go too far because we don't want to damage what's underneath. Right, so after staring at this car for the best part of half an hour, trying to figure out what the best way to tackle this is, I'm going to have to remove the interior. Not all of it, but obviously the seats, the carpet, etc., where I can, because all of this, as you know, is the structure of the car. This is the tub of the car here, and all of this is gone. This all needs replacing. It's gone down here behind this jacking point here. It's also gone all the way up here. Now, we're also removing the inner sills on both sides and replacing them as well. Looking through this hole, there's also rust inside here. So we're going to have to remove the interior, remove the carpet where we can, and then start bracing this car up. So I'm going to get stuck into this interior, get the interior out, and start bracing this car up. We do have some angle iron, we've got some box section that we can use to try and really strengthen this car up, because as you can see, there's not much strength left in the car. Now, as you know, the engine has been removed, so there's no weight in the engine bay, there's no weight on the front, it's literally just the interior that's in there, and then these arms here as well. So everything should be a-okay. Yes. Now we're moving on to removing the seats. So there's 4 bolts in total on each seat. There's 2 at the front, 2 in the back, and there's also an electrical connection underneath. Once both seats are out, we can start peeling back the carpet, which is in sections, which is made easier, but it's also stuck down with some self-adhesive. Now there's no real need to take out the steering rack or the dashboard, so we're going to cover it up so we don't damage it when we're welding. Next, we're going to use our angle iron and box section. We're going to cut it down to size and make it fit, and this will really brace the car when we take the structural parts out that we need to replace. Right, so I've cut this box section here. This is quite a thick box section, so this is really strong. I've contoured it to this corner in here and this down here as well, so I can weld that in, and this is going to really strengthen this sill up. once I take this inner sill out, because obviously once I take this out, this is the major structural part of the sill, and it's going to lose a lot of its strength. So this is basically going to reinforce the top of the sill, and it's not going to move anywhere. I've also got this bar here, which is going to go from here to here, and there's sort of like a plate inside here that I can weld it to, and I can obviously weld it to here, so that's going to stop any sort of like movement further up. And it also prevents any movement when I do actually take all of this out, because I need to take all of this out because it's obviously lap welded from factory. I do need to take this jacking point out as well. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Also, same on the other side, but we're going to do some lateral sort of like restraints as well. So from this side to that side, I'm going to have some angle iron to stop any sort of movement on either side. I'm going to concentrate on this side first, so that side remains strong, but I'm still going to weld all the box sections and things in. So I'm going to make a mess, cut all this out, get these welded in, and yeah, take it from there, I guess. Okay, right, we've got this bar in, and we've also got that angle to cross brace either side, just so it doesn't do anything. Now, we don't really need that here because this has got all of this structure and it's got the floor pan and all of this, so we only need this at the back. Now, this is literally braced up to the heavens. It's like, yeah, this is really thick steel. Across the sill, it's all welded across here, it's all welded at the back, it's also welded here and here, so it's on two sections. And at the front, of course. So that means we can start cutting this inner sill out, because this inner sill has just about disappeared on the bottom section here. We need to be careful because there is the plastic heater hose inside there as well, so we need to be careful with that. We've got some panels through the post, or well, it wasn't post, it was, yeah, on a pallet, but we've got the panels. So we've got an inner sill, we've got a kidney bolt with a jacking point, we've got the rear quarters as well on both sides, and a couple of little odds and ends. So we can do away with this jacking point because it's actually inside the kidney bowl. So the owner's actually bought a extended kidney bowl that comes to somewhere here, so that's really going to strengthen this section up. So now we're going to start removing all of this here, all this steel. We can start removing all this, and it's not going to move because, like I say, it's braced. So it's not going to move anywhere. We're going to do one side at a time, so obviously that side can brace this side, and the same when we get there. And yeah, there's probably some more rust in there though, because it's completely gone. It's chop time. So after bracing the car, we can now move on to that inner sill. Now, I've taken the jacking point out, which was an absolute pain, but you can see here that we've actually got some new parts to go on the car. Now, I've got the kidney bowl here, which actually includes the jacking point. We've also got the sill there that connects to the kidney bowl, and this should fit up really nicely. Right, I think this car is starting to turn into a bit of a disaster. Now, if you remember when the car came in, it was a nice majestic red Porsche, and now I've just cut the entire side of the car off just about. And there is some rust in there as well, believe it or not. Now we have got the new panels. They seem to line up okay on this. Obviously we need to make sure that they line up once we get all this off. But what I do want to do is I need to renew this edge further down, and then I want to renew all of this edge here as well. The reason for it is because it's not in the best condition, and I want a nice surface there to obviously weld the panels onto, with, you know, obviously the inner and the outer sill. So I'm going to chop this strategically so I don't obviously compromise the structure, because I've got these welds up here with this bar that's on it. So I'm going to go from weld to weld, so obviously I can maintain them welds and just replace them on the new panel. And then, yeah, I'll take it from there, I guess. Because, I mean, I need to take all of this section out up here. And as you can see, it's just rusty and crusty and nasty, and yeah, it's not great. Now I'm going to move on to the structural part of the car. So I'm going to offer the paper up, I'm going to get a template, cut it out, and then I can transfer it onto some sheet steel and start making that piece. Here you can see me cutting some relief cuts so I can get a 90-degree bend on that radius. And then it's onto the tipping die to get a little bit of a bead into that panel. So once I've got the shape that I want in the panel, I can then tack it in place on top of the original, and then I can hammer form it to the original to get them bends in there. Right, so I've cut this sill off and I've actually made this section here. Now, this fits just in there like that, and I kind of hammer formed it against the original because I wanted to sort of like make it all in one piece. Now, I don't want to cut any further up here because I don't want to disturb any more structural integrity, because obviously we've got it jacked up here. This is quite a strong point because it's obviously got your swing arm and the load sort of like travels like this. So I don't want to cut any more of this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to chop this in half and weld the bottom half on, get the inner sill on, and then I can cut this out and obviously stitch this in. With that side, I want to jump onto the other side. I want to get the inner sill cut off and any bad bits of metal cut off, and then see exactly if that side is as bad as this side. Hopefully it's not. Right, so now that we've sorted that sill out and made a massive mess on that side, it's time to get the big guns out. It's time to throw away these glasses and put on the cool dude glasses, because we've got a laser cleaner there. Now, you may have seen it in some of our other episodes, but this bad boy like takes rust off like there's no tomorrow, and it can get everywhere where the eye can see. Whereas with a grinder, you're struggling to kind of get into different places. This, you just point and shoot, bada bing, bada boom, done. But the laser is quite a big boy. Now, this is from zaclasers.com, links in the description. This is a pulsed laser cleaning machine, and it literally is the bee's knees. Now, all you have to do to switch it on is simply do that. You need to log in to make sure that not anyone can use it. So there's a login and a password. Accept the disclaimer, and then you're good to go. Now, there is different patterns that you can use with this as well. You can do a straight laser, you can do like a zigzagger thing, you can do all this sort of stuff, and you can actually change the power of it as well. So we're going to put it in action today. Remember, links in the description. This is a beast. Let's get on to it. Well, we've made some major progress in this video, but we've also uncovered some major rust in some major structural areas, which isn't good. But that machine is a beast. saclasers.com, link is in the description. So that's all we've got time for in this video, unfortunately. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next video, we're going to continue working on this car. We're going to hopefully get the kidney balls on, we're going to get the inner sills on, we're going to get all the structure done, which is actually already done because I'm a little bit ahead on the videos. But anyway, like and subscribe, share, turn on your post notifications. Thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one.